Hi friends. If you click to check out Suqqu Holiday 2020, their eyeshadow palette, 2 blushes, and 2 lipsticks, then please keep on watching. Hi, I'm Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinkysweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I am very excited to present the pieces of the new Suqqu Holiday 2020 collection. I just received it yesterday. I had my eyes on this collection for quite some time, ever since the sneak peeks. We have an 8-pan shadow palette, 2 two-tone blush compacts, as well as 2 lipsticks. However, apparently there were 2 lipsticks, a fog and glow formula, not presented with the collection, but they were Selfridges exclusives. Didn't know about it, didn't look for them, and they sold out. I'm bummed, I have to say. The shades look beautiful, but you know what? I'll keep a lookout for it. You never know. Today we'll focus on the product details as well as dive into some demos. I will apply both blushes and will apply as many shadows as I can, on these eyeballs, and of course apply the lipsticks for you to see the shades. Got my receipt, which is in pounds, so I had the Selfridges apps open to give you USD. This baby retails for $78 or 65 pounds. The palette weighs in 12 grams total, which equals to about 1.5 grams of product per pan. This has a suggested shelf life of 12 months, and oh, look at this, it's made in Italy. No surprise here, considering that this appears to be a baked formula, and I think Italy is, you know, baked formula central. Okay, we have the 2 new blushes that I'm not seeing on the website here. On my receipt it says that the pure color blush comes to 34 pounds based on the USD price, which is, let me see here, which appears to be $39, so I'm assuming it is indeed the same. 7.5 grams of product, suggested shelf life of 12 months. Both these blushes are made in Japan. This comes in the color 122 and very different from a typical Suqqu blush design, as you have more of a gradient setup here. I am showing you blush number 11. This is like the bronze into the rose peach, and here for the holiday we have a more distinct blush and highlight division in the pan. And number 123 is more of this beautiful, just, it's soft. It's like a burnt orange color with the highlighter counterpart. We'll swatch all these, of course, to see if the highlights are similar, how different, how the same. We have the 2 lipsticks here, retail for 30 pounds or $34.50 USD. 3.5 grams of product, both made in Japan. I don't see the suggested shelf life, but typically lipsticks 12 months. Here is the component. You have black matte, or more of like a black brush finish. Also, the gold is brushed on the cap as well as on the component lining. And here is color 110. And here is shade 111. With product details out the way, why don't you come in a little closer for these swatches? That's enough. Oh, good. We got some color descriptions here. Thank you, Selfridges. The eyeshadow palette is definitely limited edition. I'm not too sure about the blushes and the lipstick. I have a feeling the blushes are as well. I'll confirm it down below. And here's a close-up of the pans. They look absolutely gorgeous with this design. First, we have pale pink, satin finish. Well, that is absolutely beautiful. Silver pearl, a jewel finish. Ooh, serving me topper vibes. I like it. Yellow bronze, also a jewel finish. Metallic red, satin finish. Ooh, these are very smooth. I love it. Oh yes, we have orchid purple, which is a jewel finish. This will look phenomenal on the shadow that was in for the fall quad. Ooh, I gotta grab that one. It's gonna look beautiful. Next up, we have Night Gray, which is a satin shade. That is going all over my eye. Next up, Burnt Orange in the velvet finish. So we have 3 finishes in this palette. That's very pretty. I would say very warm considering the overall feel of the palette, but we have a little bit of everything. The warms coming from the yellow bronze and the metallic red, the cool from these shades. we'll make it happen. And lastly, we have Deep Brown, the last velvet finish shadow. So here are all the shades from the palette. You can detect here a lot more sparkle from the jewels. This actually, the orchid purple, the jewel reflect is coming from the blue particles in this very light fuchsia base, but again will be further amplified, I feel, if you apply it on a color similar to that, so the sparkle can really dazzle on the lid. And as opposed to their blush palette compact, the 2020 holiday eyeshadow compact has gold lining around the lid. Very pretty. Blush side for 122, a soft rose. Oh, that's light. Let me get a little bit more. That's a little better. Okay, we might have to layer that one. Highlighter side for 122. Maybe on the icier side. This is the highlighter texture. Very soft focus. You're not getting a lot of shine. Not like the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Glow. Not even like the pat, dare I say. But I feel it will serve a purpose, so let me not get ahead of myself. Let me get a hefty swatch. Here's the blush side for 123. Getting more of a turquoise. Try that again. Tangerine, burnt orange. Highlighter side for 123. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, I did it right on top of the blush because I couldn't see it since it's basically like my skin tone. I thought immediately upon seeing these blushes that they were on the lighter side, but we'll see how they apply. And it appears that the one from 123, more champagne, the one for 122, a little more pink champagne. I definitely would say, judging from these swatches alone, if you did want to try Suqqu blushes, your best bet would be Blush 101 or Blush 102. Those blushes definitely have a little more impact than the ones here. But again, we shall see. And here is 110 for the lipstick. Very peachy-eachy, you know. Definitely, I think we'll need a liner. And here we have elbow 111. Ooh, that's pretty. That's like a fiery red orange. So here is our Suqqu Holiday 2020 collection swatches. I'm excited for the eyeshadow palette, especially that blue shade, and I also have my holiday nails on. This is from ILNP, their fall collection. I just ordered their winter collection, which came in the mail today. I just applied this morning. Now I want to take it off and put those on. And this is from their Wicked collection, which I love both. Anyway, and the quad I was talking about that the Violet Orchid shade reminded me of is 133. This shade here, I think this to be one of their best quad offerings. This was for fall. It has like all my favorite shades in one. You know what I'm saying? And if I were to combine this shade and apply that jewel texture on top, I want to apply this blush first. But first, that's enough. Let's start this demo off first. However, I know I just said I'm applying the blush, but applying the Hourglass Veil Eye Primer on the lids. You know, give it some time to set. Definitely want to use a goat hair brush because I'm going to need the most pickup for this baby. Or I could use my fox brush. Here we go. Tuckahoe F04 in with the rosy side. I have my Suqqu cream foundation on 35 and 40, Suqqu concealer 15 and 12, Suqqu sheer loose powder all over to set. Let's pounce this on. There's something there. I know I'm not the deepest in the brownness, as many of you love to remind me. If you're around my skin tone, this can work. I would definitely choose a brush that picks up a lot. It's apparent that it's there, but notice that I get the best application when I pounce it on. Very smooth. The color just melts. It's quite extraordinary. It's foolproof. I think Suqqu blushes are one of the most foolproof formulas to use. I didn't even have to swirl and twirl. When I pounce it on my cheeks, it just, I know that it's not a technical presentation of what happened, but Masonogy Designer Pro in with the highlighter side. Pouncing that on the cheekbone. Just as I suspected. Very light, very soft focus, low key. Still very smooth on the skin, however. Ideal for a makeup wearer who is not into super shiny highlighters. They need something a little more subdued, but will still bring the cheekbone forward. Giving my O for a wipe, and now dipping into the orange shade. We got some here. Let's see what we... It matches my earrings. Yes. This is a very unique shade. I mean, I'm giving you summertime fun in the middle of November right now. Or maybe some fall fun, depending on how you look at it. My poor little brush, I just catapulted it to the floor. Oh, too loose of a grip there, friend. That is a very pretty shade. Same thing I experienced with the pink blush. Melted beautifully into the skin. Barely detectable. Hitting the highlighter side again with my Designer Pro. And definitely you see there's more of a champagne hue versus the pink side, also champagne, but leaning more pink. Here we have the 122 side with both blush and highlight, and here we have 123 with both blush and highlight. I love both shades. I'm very happy to see that they do show up on my skin tone despite the very light swatches. However, if you are deeper than me, I would suggest that you may go in with 101. For instance, this shade here has more of that orange leaning hue, but it's going to give you a little more depth. But I remember one of you in a recent chat said that the blush palettes were still too light, so perhaps this might not be the best bet brand wise, and there's something else that has a little more depth of color. But do let us know down below what your foundation shade is, what your experiences have been with the Suqqu blushes. Now let's get into this eyeshadow. I feel these will be best applied with the finger. Maybe the satin shades will have better luck with a brush application. My little xoxo premium brush. I'm gonna start on this eye. Oh, I detected from the swatch that we would get nice coverage. This formula is giving me Tom Ford vibes. Dare I say, it almost reminds me of some of Pat's Blitz shades, which have a little more shine in them, I feel like. Turning the brush on its side to buff the edges. Well, that's your one and done look right there. You place this on the lower lash line, maybe another shade, the jewel silver shade for the inner. Hold on please. Tuckahoe T12. Oh, well, that's pretty. It's flaky, however, so maybe best applied with the finger because the warmth from your skin, I feel, will better adhere the particles to the lid. But that's not bad. I suspect maybe a little spritzy spritz will help with that adherence. Do it again here. Oh yes. Not only will it help with the adherence, but it will help bump up the shine also. Pulling it slightly under the inner lower lash line. And again, just a light finger tap to refine the blend. For a little more smoke, now keep in mind, fam, depending on how you want the eyeshadow to show, you could keep this color to keep it relatively cool. If you want to introduce a neutral shade to maybe tone down the blue silveriness of it, we could try going in with this dark brown shade. This is my Hakuhodo J5522. And in the crease now, just barely blending the edges of the blue shade. I think that goes together quite nicely. You could go in with this brown shade first. I could only imagine how lovely it would be on its own. Again, if you're around my skin tone, or even if you're around maybe Chelsea or Kelsey, or even maybe a little deeper than that, this could show up as a nice everyday smoky eye for you. xoxo Premium Shadow Brush with the gray silvery shade on the lower lash line. I got a little fallout from the silver, but it's okay. Taking the Orchid shade, but now in the inner part, ooh, that's pretty. We have a nice gradient going from like a purple to a gray blue. So although it's not completely opaque, I like that, because now you can layer it successfully without it appearing muddy. If you want to quickly see, I will now swatch from this palette. So you have your base shade here, and if we were to take the jewel shade right on top, it's going to amplify it even more and bring forward more of that periwinkle sparkle. We have our cool eye. Now let's go into a warmer eye. We could go in with this shade first. Why not? Since we went in with the velvet texture last on this eye. Oh, and a nice mirror too. You have the grooves here that fit these two brushes that came with the palette that, you know what? Listen, these sponge applicators lay it down, let me tell you. Look at that. So if you apply initially with a softer brush, you go in with your sponge applicators. Here they even provide you a smaller one, and really pack on the color, and you get more payoff that way. And they even have one with brushes. Just, you know, plain. Ooh! Yeah, it's not the softest, but you could get something done if you're in a jam. You don't have your huge favorites. Here we go. This burnt orange. On this side, definitely lighter in color than the dark brown velvet. But we're getting a little something, dare I say. It kind of matches the blush. Since this is a baked texture, I am going in 3 times since I do think it is harder to pick up than a more traditional powder finish, but it does build nicely. Now with the red metallic shade, same Koyudo brush, slapping this on, very soft, and dare I say, more satin than what's going on here with the blue gray shade. Just tappity tap tap around, but the texture makes it very easy to not only apply on the lid, but to blend the edges out with. Taking this pink gold that I just think beautiful on the inner part of the eye, draping it over the metallic red, and taking more metallic red between the border. That's pretty. Metallic red on the lower lash line. Taking my little sponge applicator, getting more of the metallic shade on the lid. Now with my Tuckahoe T12 with this yellow gold, or yellow bronze, whatever they called it, inner lower lash line. That is a really pretty shade. And I'll drape it over the tear duct as well. Pulling it slightly over the pink gold shade. Taking more of the red on the outer part of the lid and just deepening that shade. Taking more of the orange velvet on the edges of the red. Bumping up here under the lash line. Alright, let's apply some lashes, fix these brows, and I'll be back with the lip swatches. Alright, we got the chandelier lashes on in Lady Grace. We have the cooler side eye that I am loving with the silver accent and just this blue gray lid, a little bit with the orchid purple. And here we have the warmer eye, nice punch of color from the gold shade, and more of a subdued, I think, effect from the metallic red, but I dig it because it's really easy to apply and work with. And with the first lipstick, we have 110, which is more of this peachy shade. See what we got. Not my most favorite color, only because it's leaning a little too warm for me to be worn on its own. Let's try Patrick Ta's liner in She's Bold. Much better, I think. The brown hue from the liner toned down the peachiness of the lipstick and now transformed the color to something I can wear now as like a nude. But the texture of this lipstick is called Vibrant Rich Lipstick, which I think is a part of their standard formula lineup. Very smooth, very creamy on the lips, and upon removing it, my lips feel really nice and soft. Now in with 111. This is very smooth too. It's not super opaque, which is, I think, okay. So you know you have your lipsticks like Lisa Eldridge, even Pat McGrath. Whatever lipstick in that sector for you that has more coverage is going to give you that powwow impact. This is a little more subdued. The shade, however, is beautiful. I went over a couple of times to get the coverage that I was looking to achieve, but there's a nice orange tint to it. It's almost like a muted orange red. It's very smoothing on the lips. Dare I say, it's leaning towards like a balm consistency, of course delivering color, delivering more than a balm would shade wise, and fairly easy to apply. Here's a wide shot of both eye looks, both blushes, and the Vibrant Rich Lipstick shade in 111, the red orange color. I'm really happy overall with this collection. My expectations are always high for Suqqu, and I knew immediately upon seeing the textures of these shadows, I kind of knew what I was in for. Again, experiencing a lot of baked shadows from my collection, I knew what I was in for in terms of performance. I have to say though, I'm really intrigued by the color story, and I like how the shadow palette does include the cooler tones and the warmer tones, but I like that the warmer tone, the standout color for me, is this red metallic shade, but it's not super red like Blitz Flame from Brown Seduction, right? That is a shade that is super red, and I feel like I have to be ready for. Okay, this is a red I can get down with every day, and you could pair it not only with the warmer tones in the palette, but you could pair it with, you know, another palette. Dare I say, this will look phenomenal with Charlotte Tilbury's Walk of No Shame. Blue grays I think are just so gorgeous, and for it to be included in this palette alongside a silver, alongside an orchid shade, just kind of presents so many possibilities for like a cool tone look that has a lot of dimension and shine. The blushes are on the lighter side again. Of course, if you are my complexion, they will definitely work. If you are a little deeper, you might again have to take a look at the Suqqu blush palettes or just skip the Suqqu blushes altogether. And to quickly take a look at blush 102, the shades run a little deeper than the ones found in the holiday compact, so just something for you to take note of. The two lipsticks are great. I definitely prefer the formula over the shades. The peach shade, again, I just have to wear with a liner because on its own it looks a little out of place. I do love the red orange. The more I look at it, the more I'm liking it. I do feel it more appropriate for an everyday lipstick only because of how comfortable it feels on the lip, but because it is a satin finish, it's not going to have the same longevity as a matte would. So just know if you're on the go with this, if you're wearing it under your mask, you will have to bring it along for the ride to reapply. If you want more color, I will look into their fog shades. In fact, the shade 02 in this has a lot more punch. You want to see? Immediately upon the first application, it gives you so much more coverage. It doesn't have the same orange hue as the Vibrant Rich lipstick, but it definitely has more color to the formula. It doesn't completely dry matte, it's a soft matte finish, so it will transfer, but I have to say you definitely get more coverage from the fog formula, which is why I'm bummed I missed out on the holiday exclusive, which I did not know was coming. I would have looked for it if I did. So those are a few options in regards to the lipsticks. If you want a little more color impact, then the fog formula I feel you will be more successful with. If you want something a little more low-key, then the Vibrant Rich lipstick maybe will be more appropriate for you. And there is Suqqu Holiday 2020. Let me know what you think down below. If you have already picked up some of these items, if you're still thinking about it, maybe you're skipping on it. And until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review, tutorial, holiday collection extravaganza, monthly favorites, or nightly life chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.